I mean, I completely agree. I really do. But I'm sure I could think of, if I tried hard enough, an example of someone who was doing something for the longest time and then made a switch, and then
And
it
then, yeah,
instant, you know, then it happened. But
yeah.
without that switch, it wouldn't have got there. So I think that's a really tricky thing to
The
ask.
biggest switch,
And
the bigger, is it a big switch? Is it always a big switch? I want an example of someone that changes big switch.
yeah, I think it would be a big switch. The ones I could think of that the way they must have been is people who have become very successful, whether it be celebrity or in a sport or something, and they have these stories of, you know, I was in school or I had a job, I had this very comfortable life, but it wasn't making me happy, and then they
Yeah,
switched and then they get
yeah.
it. But then there's that thing that whenever you hear stories like that, there's that itch. They've always had that thing in the back of them saying, "Go do that. Go over there, go try that thing." So I don't know if that's the same as what you're saying, where, you know, when the going gets tough, you shouldn't just, like
Give
you
up.
said, give up and roll over.
And this actually leads me on to something I was thinking about yesterday. I don't think I came up with this. I'm liking the idea that I did, but I'm sure I've heard it or seen it, or you can give me an example, someone of it. I'm calling it like a pressure point, a pressure plate rather. Every now and then I like tag on something new. Like when you hear a piece of music like that you've not heard probably forever, and you really like it, are you one to constantly play it?
Yeah, yeah.
And it
Yeah,
like
I play
drives
it to
Laura
death.
mad. Yeah, it drives Laura because I just constantly play it, and it's like, why are you playing that over and over? So I get onto like words, and like relationships my favourite word at the moment, and I get onto things, and this is my new analogy, I suppose. It's this pressure plate place, and that's where I think we're all in at the moment. So there was pre-COVID, then there's going to be the future, I believe, with COVID. And we're currently stuck in this space, this plate between, which is the pressure. And it's just really hard when you're in that place. So, and there's another example, it's when you want to achieve something. So, again, using our sport as an analogy, there's someone that goes to a competition, they look at, or they start training, or let's just say the black belt, they look at, I want to be a black belt. So they're here, that's the start, and then they want to be there at the end. And it's most people can't take the pressure in the middle. And the closer you get, the more the pressure pushes in on you. And this pressure plate, and it's being able to deal with that and not go, no, that's enough, and step up. We can't at the moment with the whole COVID thing. We can't. I suppose you could become a recluse or whatever. It's all about getting to that. Where I'm getting with it is about getting to that place. I think we all want to be somewhere. Even a negative person would say they would want to be somewhere, and it's that A to B, that start to end, and dealing with a pressure plate. You know, endless analogies of like ordering something at the restaurant to getting the meal. That's what most people see. They don't see the craft, the art, the steam, the hot, and everything in the kitchen. And even like a vehicle, like a car, like I'm just putting the camper back together. You got the engine, and then you got the moving forward. It's a clutch that turns and moves it all. And yeah, I was quite pleased with myself this week coming up with that one.
No, I like it. Yeah, it's very true. I think a big part of that pressure is, and this is maybe not so COVID related, but just in general, is plateaus and coming to points of large resistance, where especially after the beginning, because normally you have what I call newbie gains, where you're new at something or it's a new venture and you're full of energy to do it. And it's going to have that initial burst of success, whether it be you're trying to lose a bit of weight or make a new business or get social media following, and then it's going to taper off. That's like, it's almost inevitable it's going to do it. And then that's like where you said the pressure begins, because if you then go, oh, it's not working anymore, and you take your foot off, you go back to the start. It's game over, it's reset. So it's about being able to stay, I guess what you're saying, it's being able to stay there even though nothing's moving. Keep pushing
Yeah.
against the wall, against the pressure, even though you're not, as far as you can feel it, moving even an inch. If anything, you feel like you're regressing, you're moving backwards.
Yeah,
But I guess at
and
some point the pressure gives, right? And that's
Yeah.
what you're trying to say, is if you push
Or
hard enough, you stay there enough.
Or
it
more
will
so,
be.
that is just the nature of the three things, you know, the start, the end, and the pressure in the middle. And to me personally, if I look back, especially last few years, I'd like to think I've been successful at numerous different things throughout life. And I'm actually drawn to stepping into that at the moment, I feel. When I'm starting to think about it, it's like I'm actually looking for things to step into. And like Lauren's always saying, oh, you're doing too much, you're doing too much. And yes, I probably, you know, in relation to what I said at the start, I have done too much at the moment. But I think I'm drawn to it because I suppose I'm getting a bit of a kick off of it, if that makes sense as well.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah.
It does. It's a tricky thing, isn't it? Because you're not, if you just stay in your comfort zone and just stay with stuff that's easy and comfortable, you can get through life, I assume, pretty happily to a point. But just no magic's gonna happen in your life. Your life is gonna be very dull. There's not gonna be any chance for a magical moment because you're just living in a very safe space where, although nothing seriously bad might happen to you, at the same time, nothing incredibly good is gonna happen to you either. You're just in this, limbo of nothing really going on. So I think what you're saying is you'd rather go into a world or into a space where there are going to be some crushing lows, but it's all worth it because you're going to experience the most euphoric of highs
At the end of it,
yeah. And then you'd rather be on a roller coaster that makes you feel something than just on the merry-go-round, just going around and not feeling a thing.
And then I just thought of it actually. I got given a book a little while ago. I don't know if I can read it without falling down. I was going through a bad stage at the time with my connection with the sport, and there was a lot of influencing factors from passing a family to friends and to a new family. Basically, just felt like a pressure time at the time. And Corey Kane, a really good friend, he got us on the path of thinking. And there was this book, Winning, that he shared with us. And we had a conversation about winning and the perspective of winning. So I think most people see winning as the gold medal at the Olympics or, winning and achieving. But he talks about winning as in from a perspective of what is it to you to win? Because one man's winning is another man's losing, kind of thing. And I really got, and it got me to thinking, not that it's a negative tone at the moment, or the world is kind of really a bit, but are you not beaten? You're only ever beaten by yourself. So I was thinking about winning, you only make yourself a winner at the end of the day, because even if you win everything and if you've got all the money in the world, you'd want to earn all the money in the world again and win it all again. It's like a never-ending tunnel. Is it the same thing on the other foot? If you look at it, you're never beaten. You only beat yourself.
I believe so. Yeah. It's if you look at people who have gone through horrific things in life, like we spoke a while ago about the guy from Auschwitz who went to all the concentration camps and managed to get out of it and then prosper and survive. The only way you get through something, and that's an extreme example, but I think it highlights it a bit clearer. The only way you get through that is through your mind, isn't it? Because physically, everything has been taken from you that could be taken from you. Your freedom, your family, everyone's dead. All you've got left is your mind. So that's the only thing that didn't get beaten on him, and that was really the only thing he needed to power through. So I think there's a lot of truth in what you're saying, and I think it's good for me to hear it at the minute because I've needed it. I'm not ashamed to say that this week, and especially today, I've had a moment of weakness where the knees have buckled. But I'm comfortable in the fact that I know that I bounce back from these things. And I think that's an important thing to know as well, is that sometimes you're going to lose, like you said, winning and losing. Sometimes you're going to lose the fight. Sometimes you are going to get battered and get 10 cleared in life or whatever it is. And the most important thing is that you get back up tomorrow and you go try again.